is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right. This is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right. This is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IDS Pro 2 Round 5 here in Watergrasshill, County Cork. It is the final. This is what it all comes down to. It's all on the line and it's all up the hill here this weekend. It is going to be a fantastic event. My name is Mike Fitz and I'm joined here in the tower by the one and only Alan Hines, who happens to be the current Irish Drift champion still, I believe, for another couple of weeks at least. Alan, absolutely crazy Pro 2 championship. We've seen families come through this championship. We've seen all these up and coming young drivers. We've seen some guys who are hanging around in this championship with a while making it their own, and it's all coming down to today, and it is down to the absolute wire. 7 drivers are separated by just 37 points with a maximum of 111 points available should you win qualifying and win the event. Have you ever seen a championship as close as this?
No, Mike, definitely not, especially in the Pro 2 category for sure. And speaking of the championship, we have obviously the two brothers, which are Peter Molloy and Andrew Molloy, in third and fourth in the championship. And leading the fight is Alex Butler and Jake Davey, the two young guns, the two juniors, I believe, as well. So speaking of families, yeah, this is all a family sport, and it's great to see so many great talents coming up here in the Pro 2 category, which is obviously very, very crucial for the future of Irish drifting.
It is, absolutely, and as you mentioned, they are the junior drivers, Alex Butler and Jake Davey, both just 15 years of age. I repeat, they are both 15 years of age, and as you can see on our screen here, they are driving 500 and 400 brake horsepower cars respectively. Absolutely crazy statistic. They're separated by just 8 points. I mean, I haven't ever seen anything like this. The talent back along the ranks is absolutely crazy. The depth of talent within the youth is absolutely crazy. And you know what? I'm genuinely very much looking forward to seeing what today is going to hold. Little bit of a different format today. We had a couple of qualifying runs last night because of scheduling. We are going to bring a little bit more of a show aspect into the Pro 2 Championship in the form of a drivers parade, let the fans meet and greet the drivers, get up and close with the cars, etc. So we did allow some of the drivers to qualify last night. Some drivers will have a score on the board, so we'll run you through all that as we are going through, and we are ready to rock, and we are straight into qualifying here. Liam McGill leads us the first car up the hill. Alan, take it away.
Yeah, Liam coming up here in his Mazda RX-8. Manji's down the back straight here, the front straight, and there's a long handbrake drag here into the middle of the hairpin. The line here not quite right, drops a small bit, straightens up the car, but manages to keep it going and transitions one final time down the hill here across the finish line. Look, run-wise, probably not the greatest of runs for Liam. I think he knows himself there he could have done a bit better, but suppose we have to wait and see what that score when it comes in.
Yeah, difficult chassis. Of course, we could give the day explaining the line before the runs there, but you know what? It's always just easier to explain it as it goes along, and it becomes self-apparent after a while. So 39.7 for Liam McGill, 39.7 in the difficult RX-8 chassis. As you can see here, guys, it's an unusual layout here in Watergrasshill. We are going up the hill. It is a technical track. You have to get it right from the get-go. The judges don't want to see a lot of handbrake action. They want to see the cars flicking in 8 clipping points, Alan, and it's going to come down. It's going to be a mind game.
Oh, definitely, for sure for that. Like, we have Tom Hayden here coming up the hill once more, and this time, obviously, definitely doing a bit better of a job than what Liam was doing earlier, as we've seen, but still missing some of the clipping points. Managed to get in the outside line there through hairpin number 2 as he hits into the final transition here. And sets the car up onto the outside line here and follows it off across the line. Oh, a bit of a straighten and a wobble there across the finish line. But Tom Hayden in his silver S13, powered by JZ 2J. I believe he swapped over to 2J not so long ago, and seems to be much more comfortable in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As he gets a 60.
Let's see, Tom Hayden. Do we get a score for Tom? We do indeed a 60.7 for Tom Hayden, I do believe. And good example there of how difficult the track is, Alan. Tom Hayden, an experienced driver, not having the best run there. And this is Eric. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name properly. Absolutely crazy driver in the E92. We all know him as Eric. He's one of Jakob Krishak's crew members, and no stranger to the sport of drifting, but taking matters into his own hands and getting out there on track with this beautiful E92. The Balloon Garage self-sponsored, Eric the mechanic self-sponsored there, and definitely getting a respectable score on the board was Eric. But we are in reverse championship order as well, guys, of course, so the guys further down in the championship maybe haven't competed in all the rounds or whatever will be running first, and we will be getting to that all-important championship battle according as qualifying progresses. And it is a 70.7 for Eric as we move it along to our next driver, and it should be Kieran McNamara on the line, I believe, in the BMW.
Kieran McNamara in the BMW E36 Compact. I believe this is Conor Shanahan's old whip, as you would call it. There might be some very viral videos when Conor Shanahan was 12 years old driving this car. But as you see, we're pushing up along the hill here through 15.3. Barely able to keep it going. Transitions here into the middle here. Oh, and loops it out. Does he keep it going? He does not. I think that's going to be a 0 for Kieran McNamara as he manages to keep the car going, but unfortunately, that's going to be a 0 there.
Yeah, Kieran McNamara, the man from Castle Gregory in County Kerry, self-employed mechanic as well. Getting behind the wheel of the ex-Conor Shanahan BMW E36 Compact. I actually judged the first event that Conor ever drove in Fermoy in this car, actually. That'll tell you. So Kieran McNamara waiting for his score to drop in, which did not show on the screen, so we'll get it on our own screen.
It will be
here.
a 0, I'd say. Yes, it's a 0 for Kieran McNamara, overlooping and hairpin number 2.
So a 0 for Kieran Mc.
We move on to Dean Dillon here.
We do indeed. And of course, Alan, as we said, we could spend lots of time talking about the track before the runs, but you know what? The drivers tend to explain it better by just watching it. So the judges don't want to see a big handbrake drag. Lovely example there by Dean Dillon. Nice flick entry. Didn't have a big handbrake drag. Drivers are struggling to get it all the way out to the wall because the car hooks up so much coming up the hill there, and then they've got to make it all the way over the straight here. Very, very long pull over the straight. Very hard to maintain angle all the way over there. And then you're into the tight technical section where they have to maintain a nice outside line all the way around, and a lot of drivers seem to be getting maybe a bit over gripped here, Alan. They're looking like the cars are a little bit tight, lots of grip out there on the track, and they're not getting that perfect outside line that the judges mentioned in briefing.
Yeah, certainly so. It's one of those tracks I think requires quite a bit of commitment, but you need to have a good bit of patience as well, and it's finding that balance of knowing, you know, how hard should you go, because you've got one big hairpin at the end of the main straight here in front of us that you can easily loop it. I was seeing Kieran McNamara earlier, but also you've got the initiation as well, and if you don't get the initiation bang on, you're not going to get to the wall, which then messes you up for the bottom hairpin anyway. So
absolutely. So it was a 66.7 for Dean Dillon as we move on to our first female competitor who looked very impressive at the last round of Bishop's Court. It is Saoirse Lee Barrett with a car which is definitely very much underpowered for this very, very grippy track here, and look at this, she's actually making it work, uses all of the track there, getting rid of the back bumper of the 36 BMW, kicking the clutch, kicking the life out of the clutch and bopping the throttle. You know what, Alan? Maybe not the most powerful car on the grid, but I think we have a driver in this girl.
Certainly so. And I've seen Saoirse do her 360 practice days, and fair play to her. She's doing an absolutely great job. The car is absolutely on fire. The flames on the side of it look great on the purple E36 BMW.
Yeah, not literally on fire, of course.
Well, no,
lovely.
definitely not. Sorry. But that's a 59.3 there for Saoirse. Not a bad first run there. It'll certainly ease the jitters and the nerves.
Well,
and set her up for run to number 2 later on.
We've got a huge power section, Alan. We've got a really tight technical section. Then the scores might not be massive by the looks of things. It might be enough to qualify her for top 32 action. Of course, guys, we do have Pro 2 rookie and juniors, as well as Pro 2 outright drivers. The rookies are first-time competitors, or competitors who have never qualified for a battle yet. The juniors are drivers from 13 to 16 years of age, and the Pro 2s are just the drivers outright in the Pro 2 Championship. Now, Edgar Linus is a Pro 2 rookie. It is his first year competing, I believe, and maybe not having that perfect outside line here either, Alan. It's a very, very difficult track. Practice can tend to be a bit limited among the Pro 2 grid because we have 65 competitors, I believe. And maybe just needing a couple more practice laps there, Edgar Linus does in the big power. Definitely not a standard VQ35 engined 350Z there.
It sounds a very good VQ35.
It does.
The VQ35.
Yeah.
It sounds more like an RB more so than anything.
I would say, yeah, it's a 53.7, big 6-cylinder in it anyway, that's for sure. Now, Daniel Gerrard is on the line, I believe. It's not Daniel Gerrard, is it? It's not Daniel Gerrard, as per the live stream. It should be... let's see, we should be skipping down to Shawnee B, I believe.
Shawnee B, yeah. So just to clarify, we had some drivers yesterday that have done their first qualifying run, so we will see them a little bit later on. We'll explain how that works. As I was nicknaming yesterday, we're now in qualifying part 2.
Yes.
So qualifying part 1 was yesterday. So some drivers haven't done their first run, which are the drivers we're seeing right now, and some drivers have done their first run, which we will see them later on for their second run.
Yeah, once again, in the interest of having a bit of a show aspect brought into the Pro 2 Championship. A nice flick entry there from Shawnee B, but catches a lot of grip in the car, rotating a bit too far to the left there, getting a little bit caught as he tries to make his way up the hill here in Watergrasshill. You can see the rear of the BMW moving around now, uses the handbrake to slide the car into the tight hairpin section after coming out of that pinball alley. Now, very difficult here as well. If you don't have the legs, don't have the wheel speed, don't have the power, Alan, it's a very difficult track. You have to be absolutely inch perfect if if your engine won't do the work for you.
Oh, 100%. And fair play to Shawnee there for pulling that off. Obviously, a car as low powered as he has there is not the easiest job, especially on this track, which we kind of know is kind of a bit more on the mid to more higher end of power wise. But that's a 59.3 there for Shawnee, which again, will settle the nerves for run 2 hopefully, and we'll see him a bit better on, scoring a bit higher a little bit later on.
Absolutely. Now, we should have had Katja Darren on the line, but she did her first qualifying run last night, so we are moving straight on to Patrick Tobin, I believe. Is that Patrick Tobin, the local man?
That's Paul Dempsey on the line, is this?
Yes, that is Paul Dempsey. Indeed it is. That is Paul Dempsey in the Lucky Day competitions.
86 Corolla as he hits clip 2 there. And he powers up towards the wall here, fills the clip on the wall, transitions to 4. A bit of a hesitation. Oh, pulls the bumper off the back of the car, but on the outside line here on turn 2 as he enters clip 6 here, and he transitions into 7. Ooh, bit of a mid to wide line there, but not a bad run there for Paul. Obviously a couple of mistakes there, but I think the bare bones of that run was pretty much there. Just needs to clean up a few of the edges and the curves of it, And
difficult car to drive, as we always say, and you can see the cars as they drop down through the last corner there. The elevation change is so sudden and so severe, so hopefully we don't see any half shafts or transmission issues caused by that, but it is definitely a tricky track and very, very technical. As we look for Shawnee's score. Do we have it? We don't, coming up, so we have to find it on our screen. Paul Dempsey, sorry. So yeah, Paul Dempsey actually way up on the board, an 82.3. So Dylan Wilson leading qualifying after last night with a 91.3 so far. Connor Hickey now is the next man on the line. Sorry, a few car issues called down to ourselves in Group D there. Late in the week, sorry, a few car issues. Misses clipping zone 3 there a little bit, Alan. Maybe could have been a bit wider to 5 as well, and gets it all wrong, Alan.
Yeah, I was actually told there earlier that Connor didn't utilise the practice session yesterday, so Connor's only had a handful of runs this morning. I wouldn't be surprised if he only had 4 laps. So look, that's never going to be the easiest of things to pick up a track that's super tricky as it is here in the IDS. But a bit of over rotation there. And I don't know, is he going to get a score? He gets a score, it's a 40.7. And I don't think that's the run that Connor would have wanted. But either way, he's got a score on the board, and he can come back again a little bit later on for his second run.
So I'm just hearing that Barry Forrest, our Pro 2 rookie driver, is missing his first run. He's got car trouble, so we're going to move it straight on to our next driver, Pro 2 driver David Ford, in the R32 Skyline with 1UZ turbo power under the bonnet. So Toyota V8 with a turbo strapped onto it in a Nissan, as you do.
Certainly so, and as David flicks it in here, he's a bit on the midline on the hash marks. We'll talk about the hash marks a little bit later on, but pushes out towards the wall, utilising a lot of power in that 1UZ V8 turbo, and does a bit of a weak transition into the bottom hairpin here, but manages to maintain the outside line a bit early on the clipping point 6 there, but transitions into 7 and takes inside line across the finish line. And again, another run there, which certainly has the bare bones there to be able to do a little bit better. But we see our qualifying scores here popping up on the left side. We see some of the drivers actually that drove yesterday. Dylan Wilson currently first with a 91.3.
Oldest driver on the grid by 10 years is David Ford. Believe
Really?
it or not.
I don't want to ask his age.
Yeah, that's
Is
a
he
fact.
older than you, Mike?
Well, not at all. It's a 79 for David Ford, the oldest driver on the grid by at least 10 years. And maybe not. I might have been told to say that down in the restaurant as well, by the way. But we'll never know.
Someone slipping you money.
Yeah, exactly. So
Do I get a
79,
slice of that?
79 for David Ford. He'll be happy with that. As we have Adam Driver, our other commentator, appearing after a very, very exciting
DJing
big
in Ibiza last night.
He was DJing in Ibiza a couple of weeks ago, but he was DJing more locally last night. And so very exciting night for Adam. DJing myself last night. Very exuberant night, I must say. So yeah, not feeling maybe the freshest I've ever been today, but still we're here, and that's all that matters. As we have Niall McInerney, the man from Clare, leaving the line, brother of course of Jason McInerney, our pro driver, and softly set up BMW, almost see the front of the Beamer cocking the inside wheel, super loud as he passes us here in the tower, hitting the limiter using all of the revs, and now kicks the clutch, gets her lit up again. Listen to the abuse he's giving that engine, Alan. Absolutely crazy stuff to make it work here on this track.
Yeah, it's quite unusual to see a car on a street tire three-wheeling like that. But Niall's, I assume that's a JZ. I'm pretty certain Niall for the start of the season was in a 2.8 or something like a stock BMW engine.
The guys, they're running BC Racing suspension, and then they've got it set up quite soft for grip, so you can see the rear of the car squatting there quite a lot. And
that was an 82.7 there for Niall McInerney.
82.7 for Niall McInerney.
Great run there.
So 82.7, so leading qualifying since last night is Dylan Wilson, who is still in the championship hunt with a 91.3. Peter Rose is in second position. He'll be delighted with an 87.7. And Colin O'Sullivan from Kerry is on an 86.7. Then Justin Murphy putting in his lap last night as well on a 85, followed by Matt Darren in fifth position with an 84.3. So that is your top five after putting in laps last night, interestingly.
Correct.
But we are in reverse championship order once again, so you would expect that the nerves are going to kick in. There's a lot at stake. Alan, you know it yourself. We've both come up through the ranks here in IDC, in Pro Drift even, IDC, IDS, Drift Games. Winning this championship or getting a good finish in this championship can literally change your life. It can open up so many opportunities, sponsors. You can travel the world out of this sport if you make it work for you. So there's a lot on the line, and it's a family sport now, especially Pro 2. And I know that there's a lot of families down in the paddock very, very nervous today.
You mentioned earlier, we were talking about the junior drivers leading the championship, right? And I think one of my favourite facts is that James Dean was once a junior driver.
Yes.
So that, I'm just saying, are these guys, the junior guys, are they going to be the next futures? And they will indeed. And as you see, Gar Collins here, making his way up the hill here in Watergrasshill. Through clip 3 on the wall, transitions through 4 into 5. Wow, big angle there. That was what an entry there into the middle hairpin there for Gar Collins as he clicks number 6 together, transitions into 7 and maintains that outside line all the way to 8. What a great run there by Gar Collins. Absolutely sending it into the middle hairpin there. Fair play.
Crowd loving that one there. Big round of applause for Gar Collins. Loads of entertainment value on that run. It's an 80.7, so the judges not like it as much as we did maybe, but still a respectable score for Gar Collins.
Yeah, certainly so. Look, it was a lot of cutting from clip 1 into 2, and you get a massive deduction there, and you lose all your points by the time you get to clip 3. So I think Gar actually maintained the score that he got from the initiation all the way to the very end. So fair play to him, but of course he needs to clean up that initiation if he wants to see a bit higher later on.
Yeah, so we skip Ian Patterson, who's on a 75.3 since last night, and we are moving on, I believe, to Eddie Power, which is a good time. Eddie's the commentator for the Pro class. It's a good time to speak about commentators because Adam Driver, welcome.
Hello, Mike. Yeah, I finally arrived. The traffic was a bit hectic on the way up from Kerry, but we made it. Either way, I'm not the power in the tower. The power in the tower is on the track. Eddie Power making his first qualifying run the weekend. Initiates there. Quite a strong initiation from Eddie Power. The line looks solid. One a bit too wide. He comes up here for clip 3.
Oh.
And it looks like he shuts it down, lads. Very unfortunate for Eddie Power. Must be having a small bit of car issues, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely big car issues there, unfortunately for Eddie Power and the JZ powered 180SX. Beautiful car, one of the nicest cars on the grid, and obviously a man who's super used to drift competition, usually from a commentary point of view, but deciding to get behind the wheel in recent times. Not working out for him there on that one. Hopefully nothing too serious. Looks like that he does have a functioning car, so hopefully we'll see Eddie back out for the second run.
Hopefully so. I was chatting to Eddie yesterday just after the first run's qualifying. Part 1 is, Alan kept calling it, and he was saying he was having a few car issues and he was trying to get it all sorted, but unfortunately Demon seems still to be there, and hopefully he might get it all sorted and back out for his second qualifying run and put a score on the board.
Certainly so. I actually seen him trying to climb into the engine bay of the car, and I don't want to make a short joke on Eddie Power, but I mean, he had to use a trampoline to get into it, so...
Short jokes are okay about Eddie and me, it's okay to do. We'll run you guys through the championship according as we get up to those drivers. We are in reverse championship order, so we are going to get into the pointy end of it pretty soon. It's going to get very exciting. There's going to be a lot of nerves. We'll see the mind games coming into it perhaps. You know, the cool, calm, collected drivers might have a little advantage there. We're going to have a track walk as well, and guys, we have a great competition as well. We'll run you through it in a minute, but basically we have a VIP package to give away that you can get simply by signing in to the IDS Tint with your entry ticket, so it costs nothing, and we'll run you through that one in a second because it is a very, very cool prize, which includes a run in the drift taxi. You had one of these yesterday, I believe, Adam. A run in the drift taxi with our judge Tom Murphy.
I absolutely did, Mike, and if you follow us on social media at the Irish Drift Series, you would have seen my experience inside that drift taxi. I've had a few runs in it before, but this weekend was definitely something different. Tom Murphy, the showman as we call him, he definitely lives up to his name. I don't think he's ever... The show, exactly.
He's a show of a man.
I don't think he's ever tried going into a bend the correct way. He always tries going in backwards.
Yeah, absolutely, and why not? He is the showman, Tom Murphy. So, spectators, if you want to win that VIP experience, all you got to do is sign up at the IDS Tint. It's just in the pits here in the paddock behind us, and all you got to do, literally, get in there with your entry ticket, and you can win a merch pack. You can get up here into the VIP viewing area up here with the judges. You can meet the judges. Why you'd want to do that, I've no idea. Passenger spin in the drift taxi with Tom Murphy, and of course there is merch available and limited edition hoodies, jerseys, flags, all that good stuff in the IDS Tint. So once again, guys, get yourself up to the tint. We're going to be drawing out the lucky winner at about 2:30, and it is open to everybody who basically came in the gate here at IDS Pro2 round 5. One stipulation is that the passenger for the experience has to be over 12 years of age, because other than that there's no insurance. So 12 years of age and over for the experience in the drift taxi with Tom Murphy, and other than that, yeah, it is going to be fantastic. You'll get the best seat in the house up here with us. And once again, just get back to the IDS Tint, sign on, and you could be in with a chance of winning all those fantastic prizes.
Don't forget to mention, Mike, it's free also to sign on, which
absolutely
is absolutely
free,
wild. Yeah. So free entry and you might get a chance to win the pure VIP experience. Either way, we're back out on track. It's Kieran Lynch, the Cork man, if I'm correct in so saying, and he's pushing his car around. I definitely think this layout suits his style. Kieran Lynch flicking our car in out of zone 5 and in through 6, slowing down just a small bit there, Mike, so I'm not too sure if that's what the judges want to see. And you can see the dabs of the handbrake here, but he's trying to get out of his zone. Huge angle as he crosses the line.
Yeah, Alan, good lad from Kieran Lynch. I saw you smiling at that when you liked what you saw.
I liked a few things, yeah. But I like his smile as well, you know, he's a happy character.
He's a happy character. He's one of the
pleasure to
characters
talk
of
to him in the pits as well. Yeah, he made a little mistake. It was a bit on the inside there of turn 2 on the middle hairpin there, as we've seen. So I'm not expecting this to be blowing the waters off score-wise, but certainly some, as I said earlier, bare bones there, looking great. But next up we got Francis Hines, and he's blue stillating. And he initiates in, he flicks it in. And a bit on the inside of the hash marks, but gets to clip 2 and makes it out towards the wall as he flicks across the straight here in front of the judging tower. Down into hairpin number 1. Oh, a bit of a wobble there, but manages to keep it going through clip 6, and he transitions here into 7, and yeah, finishes off the runner. Wheel on the white liner all the way across the finish line.
Yeah, so just showing how difficult it is. Most drivers will actually be going for a gear change there, a down change. So perhaps just as he went for the gear change there, Francie Hines might have just caught a bit of a correction there. Just to go back to Kieran Lynch. Kieran Lynch scored an 80.7. Francie Hines on a 73.7. So 80.7 for Kieran Lynch, Francie Hines 73.7. Now we move along to the highest powered car on the grid. It is Nathan Corcoran from Carlow with the 800 brake horsepower 2JZ engined E46 BMW as he gingerly negotiates his way up the hill here. Nice handbrake drag on entry. Now fills up the pinball alley. Beautiful and wide, very wide in fact. Takes the back bumper off of his very, very clean BMW. Not so clean anymore. Puts foot to floor, full throttle here from Nathan Corcoran. Dabs a handbrake, drops her down the hill and full throttle. Big impact run from Nathan Corcoran. Guys, round of applause there for Nathan Corcoran. Putting it all on the line. In a car which costs a mortgage at this stage, I believe.
Absolutely, the price of a house, and he's just throwing it around a track like that and baiting the back doors off it, as we can see. One driver we've definitely seen improve more and more every single round throughout the year, so we have Mike, and definitely one we'll be seeing a lot more of in the future, especially with a car of that caliber.
Exactly. So we are in reverse championship order, as I've mentioned several times, which means that we skip Callum Coogan, who put in his qualifier last night on a 67.3, and we move straight on to the man just north of Belfast, the up-and-coming superstar that is Clark Hatton, in the car that they said that they're having a testing year in. But you know what? He's still way up there in the Pro2 Championship. I think he's still top 15 or that kind of way. And then Nathan Corcoran, thank you, Adam, with an 83.3. So Nathan Corcoran drops himself into 6th position with an 83.3. The Pro2 driver will be happy with that. Now Clark Hatton, leaves the line. Look at this beautiful build. This car was over in Formula Drift Prospect last year, and the Hatton's deciding to do a testing year, in inverted commas, in IDS this season, as Clark now hammers the BMW overstraight. Beautiful angle, flicks it on full lock as he enters the tight technical hairpin section. Now very, very difficult to get the car all the way over into the second hairpin without a wobble. Clark Hatton manages to do so very nicely, puts foot to floor, full smoke across the line, and a good tidy lap there from Clark Hatton. But still, as you mentioned, Alan, not perfect. A lot of drivers may be leaving a couple of feet here and there to clipping points, maybe just letting a bit in reserve for the second run, but it's an 84.3 for Clark Hatton, putting him way up there into 5th position for Clark Hatton. Joint 5th position actually with Matt Darren from last night. So we move it along to Andrew Kinna.
Andrew Kenna's on the line in that Altezza. We saw Gary Dunn competing in this car over in Germany for Drift Masters, but now it's Andrew Kenna behind the wheel, the man behind the wheel of his own car.
Very far right there from Andrew Kinna, just about saves it.
Absolutely, very far right, dragging a handbrake to initiate that car, but the line is looking quite solid from Andrew Kenna. There's loads of power in that car as it roars past the judging tower here in Kart World Watergrasshill. Bit of correction there after zone 5 and into 6, Mike, but look at the smoke that's beating out about this car. Takes a middle line coming towards the end, but not a bad run at all for Andrew Kenna.
Yeah, so you could see there maybe a bit of a tentative handbrake across the pinball alley there up the straight here in front of us. Just using, a little bit of a more careful technique, and it worked out for Andrew Kinna. The rest of the lap had full flare, and that's a huge score for Andrew Kinna, guys, in the 3-litre Turbo Altezza. It's an 87, putting Andrew Kinna into 3rd position, Adam. That is a fantastic run from him.
Absolutely, and definitely something to be proud of, and he definitely knows he should be saved for the battle action later on this evening.
Indeed. Now,
with a small bit of time here while we wait for Jake to warm up, but we should probably have a quick chat about the track layout a little bit now that we're waiting for Jake. We might use him as an example of how to describe what's expected here, because I'm sure Jake is going to put an absolute storm of a lap here. But one thing I want to make a point out of is the hash marks you might see between clip 1 and clip 2. And it's quite important that we see the inside front wheel on the hashed mark. So all 4 wheels basically need to be outside of that hash mark. If you see anyone on the inside of that, they're already losing a lot of points as they hit clip 2. And losing that many points at that start of the run is not ideal to get that high score that you need. So we'll see what Jake can pull off here as we wait for him to send it.
Yeah, top driver Jake McElveen. On his day, he's one of the guys who could take it all the way, that's for sure. Let's see what he can do here. He's not quite up there at the top of the championship where he might deserve to be, but he is definitely making his way in there as he shows us beautiful technique, flicks it in the BMW, kicks the clutch up the hill here in Watergrasshill, full throttle as he enters the pinball alley here right in front of us in the CDM Sport BMW. Beautiful technique throughout the course Look at this one, Jake McElveen absolutely smoking out the arena here in Kart World Watergrasshill. Dabs a handbrake, gets the rear left wheel right on that outside line. That's a huge run from Jake McElveen. Rounds of applause from the crowd for that one.
Very stylish run completely, lads. It looked absolutely outstanding. Jake McElveen being one of the lads from CDM Sport Team, one of our sponsors for this year's season. You can definitely see he's one of the drivers that we should be definitely seeing a lot more of in the future. He's a junior driver as well, which means he is under the age of 16, if I'm correct in so saying. And a huge score has dropped in for Jake McElveen. It's an easy 7.7, putting Jake McElveen in third place. Definitely be seeing him in battle action later on.
Yeah. Great score for Jake McElveen, puts him into third position, surely one of the up-and-coming stars of the Irish Drift Series. Once again, guys, we are almost there now for those all-important top 7 drivers who are separated by just 37 points, with 111 points available for a win in qualifying and a win in the battles, of course. If you qualify first, you get 11 points, qualify second, you get 10, etc. And you get that easier on paper, at least battle bracket draw as well for the top 32. Now a guy who will be looking to qualify very highly, it's the Pro2 rookie driver. It is Bartek Blazdziecki, and he is one of the up-and-coming superstars. I think maybe didn't quite have the legs there to get all the way to the outside, but this guy is leading the rookie championship, which is based solely on qualifying results. So if Bartek Blazdziecki can basically put in a huge qualifying run here, and he doesn't, he drops a wheel, maybe the nerves getting to him, he's always so collected, but if he puts in a big qualifier, basically here, guys, he takes away the rookie championship by default because he's leading the championship and it's based on qualifying.
I looked over the judge's shoulder there, and 71 is what he got for that. And I think we've seen in the past as well with the rookie championship, at least anyway, that you need to score a bit better to be able to secure the rookie win. So not the greatest start there for Bartek considering his previous performances, but we move on here to Eric Novicus as he in his E46. I believe this is an M54 turbo as he flicks up to the wall here and transitions across clip 4 across in front of us here in the tower and into the hairpin number 1 outside line here as expected. He does that exactly, take it to clip 6 through to 7, one final time down the new cut through hill and across the finish line.
Yeah, Erikas Navitskal is doing a great job there in that BMW, which we always mention is beautifully prepared, one of the best looking cars on the grid. And Erikas Navitskal is getting one of the best scores on the grid as well. It's a 90.4 for Erikas Navitskal.
Fair play to Erikas. Wow, that was a great run.
Second position for Erikas, right behind Dylan Wilson, who's still in the championship hunt. We have to move it on to young Jamie. It's young Jamie Hines from Galway.
Absolutely, young Jamie Hines, first year's ever competing, but it does not look like that. He drives like a man that's been competing for many, many years. You wouldn't even imagine. The man's only about 4 foot tall, but he drives like he's 7 foot tall and got all the confidence in the world. Look at young Jamie Hines flicking it down the back straight here in Watergrasshill. Huge flicks he comes across the line, a bit shallow on the inside of it, but still keeping it, getting it into the zones perfectly. This man's very talented. Seeing him drops tire there, I would say so, Mike. It's very on the wide line.
Just trying to collect myself after you there, Adam.
How tall is he? Is it what you say?
I'd say he's about 4 foot tall, but acts like he's 7 foot tall by the way he drives.
Taller than myself.
Look, at least he's a better driver than you.
Exactly, definitely is a better driver than all of us, I'd say, at this stage. It's an 88.7 there for young Jamie Hines.
88.7, fair play to Jamie there.
Putting him into third position, in fact. So Jamie Hines delighted with that one. We move it along. We're getting up there in the championship now, guys. It is Dean Davey, one of the 3 Davey competitors, of course. One of the guys who, once again, on his day is fully capable of taking the win here as he absolutely deafens us here in the tower, hitting the limiter in the Carrick karting. Oh, and spins out. Are the nerves starting to play here, guys? Alan, you've been there. I've been there. Are the nerves starting to play with some of these drivers right now?
Certainly so. And I was watching, you might have seen my head nodding, like he had it dialed all the way up the hill. I was actually looking over the judge's shoulders. It was up to that point, it was like 95-point run. I'm not even joking. And then he loops it. Unfortunate for Dean there. I was talking to his dad earlier on, and he was like saying, oh, I don't know how what Dean is doing initiation. I was like, leave him alone. He's doing great. And like up to that point, I think it was set in stone there. He was doing an absolutely fantastic job. And it's unfortunate, it happens, but I'm sure he'll come back stronger again for run number 2.
Just really quickly back there to Jamie Hines. I'm looking at the junior championship as well. Well, we don't have time. We'll get to it in a second. Luke Talley is after leaving the line already. We're getting it through thick and fast here. Luke in the GTR 86, a GR 86 fronted GT 86 Toyota with Toyota 2JZ power. Look at this beautiful drone shots here on the live stream, guys. If you're not here in person, you are not missing out too much, because to be honest, these shots are absolutely world class here. And as you can see there from the drone shot, Luke Talley dropping a wheel, as so many competitors are, as the car just drops downhill. The rear gets a little bit light, and the car can wash a little bit. So Luke Talley there, slight mistake, but overall a great score. It's an 85.3 for Luke Talley. And back to Jamie Hines, he is in the junior championship, and he is tied with Jake Davey, who we will get to. So multiple championships on the line here, guys. And not least our Pro 2 overall championship standings, and we are getting right up there now, because next up it should be Dylan Wilson, who has ran last night. He might have been running as well, but he drove his car in qualifying last night. So we move it along. Declan Byrne has gone last night. It is Daniel Devine who was tipped to win this championship. He was in Group D with us Friday there. He goes a little bit tight on the inside of the track. Slight transmission issues, slight clutch issues and gearbox issues have been hampering him. He thinks that the gear change might be an issue in this exact section, getting the down change to third, but it looks like he's having no shuts problems here, because he is doing a fantastic job here through all sections of the track, apart from maybe going a bit tight there. He might have dropped a wheel on the inside there, Adam.
It did look like it, so Mike, but definitely a driver that we'll be seeing a lot of in the future. A very talented driver, and we've seen him reaching podiums several times throughout the year, and definitely being a driver within the challenge of the championship. He's still sitting very high in the championship, as I know, so today could be a very great day for him. We've seen him with a few car issues throughout the year, but he's never let that break him down. He's got back on the line every round and fought for it.
So just trying to find him. So Denny Devine with an 84.7 sees him for battle action. He'll be chasing the championship. Another man in the championship chase, it's Andrew Malloy, the Pro 2 driver from County Down, one of two brothers in the championship chase here. Andrew Malloy, 4th position, coming in hot in the BMW, and I think the Malloy brothers, they're going to be, you can't call them dark horses because they're favourites at this stage, but they're so cool, calm, collected. They're such technical drivers, both of them. I'm not going to count them out to take this championship today, because you know what? Even though they don't have the most powerful cars on the grid, and power does seem to be an advantage here in Watergrasshill up the hill, they're so technical, both Malloys, that I think that they might just have the consistency to get through the battles later. So let's see. Andrew Malloy with an 87.3, 4th place in the championship. A man who can knock him down from that position, it's his brother Peter Malloy, who is in 3rd place in the Pro 2 outright championship, coming up the hill here flat out in the BMW, dials on angle to fill the zone, through the pinball alley, flicks the BMW backwards into the first hairpin. Look at this for style.
Absolute style completely, Mike. So he said very consistent from both Malloy brothers, always very strong competitors within the championship, and look at that for a run from Peter Malloy. You can see the crowd applauding.
Yeah, calling that. That's the 100% a 90-point run right there.
He means business.
He doesn't.
You know what? It's a 90-point run. It's a little bit more. Peter Malloy tops qualifying with a 92.7. Peter Malloy is meaning business here.
To be fair, I called it because I looked over the judge's shoulders as the scores were going in, so
don't think you need to be a judge though to see that was a good run.
Yeah, 100%.
Jake Davey, Pro 2 junior driver in the championship hunt as well for the junior championship. It might be too much of an ask behind Alex Butler in the juniors, but you know what? He's right behind him in the Pro 2 outright. So it's a junior driver going for the Pro 2 outright championship. It's all to play for here. The younger Davey brother, the Carrick Carthy S14, doing the business here. No such nerves. The exuberance of youth, as we always say, Adam. You know what? The young guys, they don't care. They're here to have fun. It doesn't seem to get, the pressure doesn't seem to get into their head. They're here to drive, and he's done the business. Jake Davey, guys, 2nd place in the championship hunt. He puts a big score on the board. It's an 88 for Jake Davey, putting him into 5th position, getting some qualifying points. And we move it along to the line, and it is the one and only championship leader. He is leading the junior championship. He's leading the Pro 2 championship. It's Alex Butler on the line.
Alex Butler, definitely a strong young gun that we've seen throughout the championship this year, fighting every round, pushing as hard as he can. A very strong hard charger. Look at him initiate here, dragging a handbrake, but look at the angle on this car, Mike. As he pushes up the hill here, you can hear the car roaring, using every bit of power he can down the back straight here in Watergrasshill. Huge flick, a bit too wide there, I'd say, nearly dropping a tyre. If so, he did. Getting really deep into them zones, taking that outer line here as he comes across the line. Huge run for the young Alex Butler.
Nice run there from Alex Butler. We mentioned there Alan Hines. He might be geared a tiny bit short for coming up the hill.
It's either a bit short or maybe could do with a bit more forward drive there tyre-wise. But 87.7, they're still all to say, that wouldn't have affected, the qualified score, let's say, but it would have just given them towards the wall a bit closer. But
exactly,
87.7, that's a serious first run, and I think it sets him off pretty strong for run number 2, especially for that championship hunt he's
he's level with Jake McElveen in 7th position, so championship points on the board for qualifying as well. So we go back to the start now, guys. For the second run of qualifying, be a bit less confusing now because we won't have drivers, already having done their run last night. So Niall Looney, who indeed was one of those drivers who ran last night with a 73.3, getting his first run of the day, essentially. Second run overall in the completely bog standard IS200, Adam.
I wouldn't say it's standard at all, Mike, so I wouldn't. I've seen this driver yesterday throughout practice. It started the day. He did look like he was trying to dial in that car as much as possible as the day went on. He was giving it absolute socks and really dialing it in, getting his line down. We saw him in his first run yesterday with a 73.3, but his second run has come in and it's an 80.3, a great run. Alan, you saw him yesterday out on track as well. What was your opinions on that?
Yeah, we've got Jack Mulville here as he flicks it in here through clip 1, and he goes up the hill through 2. And Jake here, and he's S14.5. I see him in the hills of Kerry doing a lot of practice days in 360 Motorsports Park, but he's now here in Cork, the Rebels County, and he's now going to do one last transition here for his second qualifying run. Half loops it and takes the inside line down the hill. I don't think this is going to better his first run score.
Yeah,
that was a pretty major mistake there.
Yeah, big mistake.
Very unfortunate as well because Jack Mulvihill was doing absolutely outstanding yesterday throughout practice. Every run he was getting stronger and stronger. He wasn't too far off his score yesterday of 82. It's a 78.7 for Jack Mulvihill on his second qualifying run, so he still sits on 82. But we're going to move on. It's our next driver on the line. Kicking off is Tom Hayden, sitting on a 60.7. Is he going to improve? Hopefully he does. He's bringing that car up the top of the hill. Huge flick there, maybe a bit too early down the straight here, and nearly drops the tyre out onto the grass as he came there for the first hairpin. Flicks it around here. Small bit shallow on his own. It's not the exact line now that the judges would like to see, but will it be an improvement on yesterday's score of 60.7?
Yeah, so guys, once again, we will have a track walk during the break here where you can get up close and personal, meet the drivers, see the cars. Spectators will be invited out onto the track to chill out during the break there, so you can be looking forward to that one. And once again, get to the IDS tent, sign up for that competition, get yourself the VIP package and a spin in the drift taxi with our judge, Tom Murphy.
Yeah, it was a 73.3 for Tom Hayden. We're going to move on to our next driver. Is Liam McGill, another driver that I see a lot of time down at Kerry, taking the wider approach, missing zone 3 unfortunately, and zone 2. Things did not look like they're working out for him, unfortunately, lads. Liam McGill still trying to finish out his run, maybe get a bit of a score on the board, or if not, just at least put on a show for everyone in attendance here today.
Yeah, difficult chassis for sure, Alan Hines, to master the RX-8.
I think it's an unknown chassis more so than difficult. No one's really kind of tried to really take it to a level, especially to the likes of Liam here. But I think starting off like that, like a 25-point qualifying run, is not obviously the most ideal point scored runs. But either way, I think Liam knows himself it's going to take some time to get that car dialed in. I'm sure over time he will indeed. Next up, we got Arcadius in his E92. Barra powered, 4 barra powered. It's got an 8 HP automatic gearbox. It's got quite a bit of power. This is an absolute weapon of a car, and he transitions here down the back straight, or front straight here in front of us here in the tower, and take of a mid to outside line, but manages to get into clip 6 fine, and transitions here to 7, and drops 2 wheels. There was a clear 2-wheel over the white line there.
Eric scares me.
Eric,
he just scares me.
It's powered by a Ford, so he's got an angry Australian in front of it, and then he's driving a German
Polish man driving it,
and a Polish man driving it. Yeah, I think you should be scared of all of them, to be honest.
Absolutely.
With you. But fair play to him. It's not an easy car to tame, I'm sure, and he's getting better and better with it all the time. It's 60.3.
Yeah, for Eric. So we move it along to the Kerry man, Kieran McNamara, self-employed mechanic there of Mac Performance. Let's see what Kieran can do. A 0 on the first one for Kieran McNamara, so all to play for here. No championship on the line for Kieran Mac, opting to do the odd round. Once again, one of the good guys of drifting, fantastic mechanic and car builder. And let's see what he can do in the ex-Conor Shanahan, as Eric absolutely deafens us with his anti-lag here with the Barra passing. That's a bar engine in Eric's car, isn't it?
It's a bar, 4
Yeah.
bar. That's what I was saying. Angry Australian.
Exactly.
He sounded angry as he
Yeah,
passed the
but-
judging tower here.
So
I think Kieran's card in is a JZ, so I
it
think
is.
that was
That's easier. Well, Kieran McNamara sneaks into qualifying positions in
28th,
28th
yeah.
position. So Kieran Mack does actually put himself, for the moment,
74.7 for Kieran.
for the
by way.
moment, yes,
Not
exactly.
a bad one at all for Kieran McNamara. Not a bad one at all. The rookie driver never qualified for. We're moving on to our next driver. It's Dean Dillon on the line. Look at the speed as he comes up the hill here, getting through zone 2 perfectly. Is he going to get into zone 3? He does, taking a bit of a wider of an approach. Huge flick down the back straight here. Drag of the handbrake though to slow him down, making him come in a bit shallow. But makes his way back out to zone 6. Flicks it in here to come around the final hairpin. A bit shallow, but gets out into the outer line for the final zone.
Yeah, Dean Dillon currently not in battle action with a 66, so he has to put a score on the board here. He does. He creeps into the battle action as well with a 77. So Dean Dillon goes into 27th position. Tom Hayden is now in the drop zone on a 73.3, and you'd have to think that there's a lot of drivers that can knock Tom down. So I think, you know, he's going to have a nervous wait as we move along. Ronan McGrath's one of those drivers sitting on a 0 from his first run. And goes very far to the right, flicks in the car, and rotates way too far to the left in, and it all goes wrong for Ronan McGrath on initiation there. Doesn't get the line perfect from the get-go, and as a typical Kieran Hines track, you have to get everything right from the start or this track will just not work. Alan, you actually touched on this. You have to get the track perfectly right up the hill or you just cannot make it over that straight.
Yeah, I was actually talking to some of the guys earlier on who were struggling, and I was kind of saying to them, look, you need to get clip 1, 2 and 3 perfect. If you can get that, the rest of it clicks together, and really there's no point in trying to do the last 2 corners if you can't get the initiation right. But he gets a 56 there. Ronan McGrath for his second run, and unfortunately scored a 0 in the first run. That was yesterday, I believe. So that puts him outside the top 32. It's 40. Sushali Barrett.
Yeah, on a 59.
59 for her first run, and she makes up the hill. Oh, lacking a bit of power there, losing a bit of momentum, but managed to keep it going. And flicks
the
bumper
again.
Oh, straightens her out.
Yeah, the car just got straightened up there. Possibly the bumper bar got caught there. Something quite solid. Just rotated the car back around. But you know what? Once again, seriously, I think she qualified in 33rd or 4th position in Bishop's Court at round 4. But I think if she can get an engine into that car, I genuinely think, I'm not just saying this, I genuinely think that she's a talent for the future because she really has it. She just doesn't have the power in the car at the moment.
Absolutely, we've seen her in previous rounds where her line is very, very solid. It's just the power is where she is slacking. So hopefully next year around we'll be seeing more power under the wheel of whatever car she will be driving, because she definitely does have the talent, Mike, and hopefully we'll see her prove that next year and see her in battle action a lot more.
Yep, so moving along to Edgar Linus. He's on a 53. He's currently not qualifying, but of course he is a rookie driver, so the rookies have their own championship just based on qualifying results as well, so he will score points within his own rookie championship, as will the junior drivers. But of course all these guys want to qualify for Pro 2 battle action in that all-important top 32. So let's see what Edgar can do in the turbo-powered 350Z as he sends it up the hill here in Watergrasshill. A little bit better this time. Maybe a bit tentative on the throttle, could have come on it a tiny bit earlier, and just once again doesn't have the momentum to make it all the way over the straight. And this track, very much one that you have to get right from the get-go, because if you don't, you're in big trouble. Nice outside line around the last section and a cross clipping 0.8 and across the line, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't think it will, Mike, either. A very stylish car. It looks like something out of Need for Speed, I must say. So the front of it kind of looks like a R35, but I don't think that will be enough for him to see him in battle action later on, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, next up is a man, I believe he did his first one last night as well. It's Luke Buttimer. Yeah, he's currently on a 66.3, not qualifying at the moment, so he has to improve here. The Charleville man making his way up the hill in another BMW that's not the most powerful car on the grid. Definitely making it work though, that's for sure. A big correction at the top of the hill there as the car hooked up, but you know what? He got it back going, has maintained the drift pretty much as he gets it through zone 6 and 7 there quite nicely. Lovely outside line, drops it down the hill and hits the throttle just in the mid 200s in the horsepower, I think, in this car roughly, and not a lot of power in that car to make it work up the hill here in Watergrasshill. But you know what? It might have been enough.
It might have been. We're waiting for his score to drop in from our judges. Luke Buttimer, another very talented young driver that we've seen out on track throughout the season this year, and he makes that car work for himself.
Yeah,
he definitely made it work for himself today, Mike. It's an AC 1.7 for Luke Buttimer, so That puts him in 22nd position, which is quite a safe spot to be in at the current moment.
Yeah, so Tom Hayden has just been knocked out of top 32 action as we move it along to Daniel Gerrard, brother, of course, of Christy Gerrard. Oh, Daniel goes very, very tight on the inside. Big mistake up the hill here from Daniel Gerrard. It's all falling apart for the Mead man. Unfortunately, that is going to be all she wrote for Daniel Gerrard because he's on a 59 so far. It's not qualifying him for battle action, but he is, once again, he is a rookie driver, guys, so will be scoring points in his own championship. Definitely not qualifying for battle action though. So Daniel Gerrard, oh, big backfire there, frightening me from the oldest driver on the grid car once again.
You can see myself and Alan are both laughing
David
here. If
Force
anyone
car.
could have seen that, Mike pretty much jumped out of.
DJ Mike doesn't load bangs and stuff like that, does he?
Mike is shook from loud noises now.
That's the age, I'm sure.
Might be a bit fragile today. We'll say no more.
Shadow of a man.
Shadow of a man today, exactly. So we move it on to the line, guys. It is Peter Rouse on an 87.7, currently way up there in 6th position. Let's see if he can top qualifying here. A big flick entry from the Donegal man. Lovely angle. Just about made it work as well. Does he make it stick all the way up the hill? He does. Fills out all of outer zone 3 through 4. Beautiful drag of the handbrake then into 5. Loses the back bumper. Not a perfect outside line, but not bad either. Picks up number 6. Picks up number 7 nicely. And number 8. Maybe not the perfect line. Not perfect, but full commitment.
You know what? I think what's lacking there is just a tiny bit of throttle commitment, but you can tell that car's waiting for a massive semi-slick on the back of it just to light up the place. And a 92.3 there for Peter Rouse. What a run there. I was calling it in my head there, to be honest with you, Mike.
Yeah.
I understand what you were saying, but I think he was just lacking a bit of throttle commitment, and that's where the last couple of points there is. But
well, he's in second position.
Second place. What a run there from Peter.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that one. Now, Ian Hamilton, we saw this car driven to the heights of the top 4 in pro competition in Bishop's Court a couple of rounds ago by
and you know what, we just seen Peter's car there.
Maroney.
We're probably north of 700 or 800 horsepower or whatever, and now we're gone back to the other side of the scale,
Yeah,
back
absolutely.
to the 80s with probably barely even 200 horsepower.
Well, technically the engine is from the 90s because it's a 20 valve in this. So
it's a 20 valve. I was
it's a 20
guessing
valve.
last night, I couldn't figure out which one it was.
Yeah, so you'll hear this one coming up the hill, guys. 4-banger, throttle bodies wide open here, coming up the hill. You know what? We're going to stay quiet for this one.
I completely agree.
We're going to stay quiet. Listen to this. Bopping to Jan speed. Yeah, beautiful noises there. The 20 valve guys, 4AGE of Ian Hamilton in the iconic AE86. Maybe not the best run in the world, I think, out of legs there. These days, the drifting, once upon a time, that was a recipe for quite a drift car, but these days might just be out of the legs, and it's a 40 for Ian Hamilton. But guys, round of applause for Ian Hamilton. A valid effort in a car that is probably not the easiest one to drive on the grid, I would say.
It's also the same car that Jack Mawinney took to the podium, or to the top 4 in
the rain.
round 2, in the rain, of course.
And then they called the 5-minute rule in the dry because they thought it might rain because the clouds were coming in. They called the 5-minute rule.
I love that strategic. That's strategy right there.
That was fantastic.
Real strategy.
That's Formula 1 strategy there. And maybe not a Ferrari strategy, but
Maybe
certainly,
not Ferrari, yeah.
certainly Red Bull or whatever.
We got to have Cedric Mawinney as the Ferrari team chief, I think. Right, we move it along to Shawnee B. Sean Bainbridge is on a 59.3 in the BMW, the rookie driver, not qualifying for battle action so far in the quietest car on the grid. Thank you, Shawnee, for silencing that BMW and saving our eardrums today. Oh, and it just all goes wrong for Shawnee. Caught grip on the rear there, just rotated to the right and goes off track. And that'll be a 0 for Sean Bainbridge. Once again, a rookie driver will put points in his own championship.
Yeah, it looks like the car kind of shut off on him there as he transitioned back, and I think he just pulling the handbrake, obviously trying to keep the car going into the outside zone there, but looks the car's back running again, and he's able to drive off, which is always the greater things to see, when especially someone goes off like that.
Driving off is always good. So guys, once again, if you qualify in first position, you have a theoretical better chance of progressing because you face off against the lowest place qualifier in 32nd, second place 31st, etc. So qualifying highly not only gets you championship points, but it theoretically at least gets you a better battle draw in the top 32. So there's loads at stake here. The top guys are going to be looking to put in the huge second runs now to pick up up those all-important qualifying points, because the top 7 are split by 37 points, and you can get 11 points just by winning qualifying, so this is huge.
Absolutely, Mike. We've seen it throughout the season. The things go absolutely any way. The top competitors, the favourites, you think that we're going to win the rounds, might not actually do it, and things go the opposite way. It could be down to the weather, it could be down to car issues, you never know. So there's 7 contenders in for the championship today. But either way, we're going to move back to who's on the line now. It's Kat Dern, wife of the one and only Matt Dern, the man with the best beard in the world. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Kat Dern right now in this beautiful VA-powered E30.
It's the Matt and Kat show, that's for sure, in the BMWs, and Katja in the V8. Listen to the whine, beautiful noise as well coming from this E30 BMW as she negotiates this super tight and tricky Watergrasshill up the hill layout and crosses the line. Now she's on a 67.3, not sure if she's going to improve and get herself into battle action. We'll have to see. She does indeed improve. It's a 76.3 for Katja Dern, putting her into 29th position. Frances Hines has temporarily been knocked out of the top 32 as we move it back to the line.
Absolutely back on the line. I'm going to pass it over to you, Alan.
Passing it to me, that's Shane Ward that's on track right now. I think Adam just passed it on to me because he didn't know who was driving. But Shane Ward in his Blue S14, and so far not doing a great. Drops the wheel on the inside of hairpin number 2, but manages to keep it going. I think this is borderline is 0, if I'm quite honest with you. Quite unchaseable, but he might still get a score on the board. Be quite interesting to see what the judges think of it, but I know it's not going to be enough to get him through to top 32.
A strange career path as well for Shane Ward. I mean, winning X Factor, going through all the superstardom, then turning his hands to drifting. You know,
I feel like you're pulling my leg. Feel like you're pulling my leg there, Mike.
Shane Ward scores a 62.3. Won't see him in battle action later on, unfortunately, as we move it along to the Lucky Day competitions. Little AE86, our second Corolla on the grid. It is, of course, the one and only Paulie D, Paul Dempsey, behind the wheel on an 83.3 so far, looking to improve once again to get that better battle position later on, as we see our drone there flying behind the car. Of course, the judges can go to the drone as well, especially in battles, for some extra information. So Paulie D there, Paul Dempsey, our scrutineer and IDS, behind the wheel as well, double jobbing at every IDS round, and it's an 86.3 for Paulie D. He's delighted with that. It's 12th position so far for Paul Dempsey. Peter Malloy currently leading, followed by Peter Rouse and Dylan Wilson in third position still to run today. Conor Hickey's on a 40.7 since his first run. Big improvements needed here for Conor Hickey, for the Tipperary man, as he comes up the hill here in the beautiful 1 S13 with 6-cylinder turbo power. Flicks it in here. Not the greatest lap so far here, Adam.
Not the greatest lap at all, Mike. Unfortunately, he does shut it down. Conor Hickey might be having a few car issues there, or else the line just wasn't exactly what happened.
I think it was a lack of patience on initiation there, and I think he knew himself that he was not really worth continuing on. So we move it on here to Barry Forrest. I believe we missed Barry Forrest's first run. I don't think he actually turned up for his first run.
As I was walking up through the pits, this car was in bits in the pits. And I was fits in the pits at that stage, and this car was in 100 pieces in the pits not so long ago. It's back in one piece now, and it's out on track here, and Barry Forrest has it all to do with one run, and I would imagine limited practice, if any, this morning due to mechanical issues. So a big ask here for Barry Forrest. Definitely missed clipping zone 2 there, but you know what? He's not having a bad second half of the run here in the 4-door R33 Skyline, and yeah, crosses the line. Might possibly see himself here in battle action, I'm not sure. No, it's 56.3, not enough for Barry Forrest. Round of applause, guys, for Barry Forrest. The guy's getting the car back together. It was in 1 million pieces in the pits. And we move along to, by far and away, once again, might have been told to say this, might not, it's the oldest driver on the grid by several years. It's David Ford.
It's very harsh to say, Mike, calling someone out like that. If anyone doesn't know, Mike's the oldest commentator up here in Tower anyway. So, but either way, we're going to move on to David Ford on the line in that beautiful looking skyline. As you can hear, roar up the hill here in Watergrasshill. Through zone 2, maybe just a bit shy of it, taking that outer line, coming in for 3 and flicks it down the straight here. Drag of the handbrake to slow himself down. Lots of angle, maybe there's a bit too much, maybe not, no, but he makes it work. David Ford pushing that car as much as he can on the inside line now, but pushed back out to the edge of the circuit to get across the line.
Yeah, loving Dave self-sponsored there. His own garage is called 4D Autos, so Fordy.
That's very, very creative.
Yeah, loving.
Where's the E?
Loving. It's just you kind of pronounce it.
It's silent as well.
Yeah, silent E. Yeah.
It's not silent, it's invisible.
It's like the Z in Heinz.
Yeah.
Fair enough, okay. Well, we move on to Ollie Cassidy in his R32 sculling. Ollie did his first run yesterday, and here in his JZ R32, should I say, he comes up the hill here to clip number 3 on the wall, transitions here across the front of us, and Ollie is sitting on a 54 from his first run. Let's see if he can be better at here. Halfway through the run here, he's now going to have to finish it off. Final transition one last time down the hill for his second qualifying run, maintaining the outside line all the way across the finish line. And like I said earlier, Ollie doing his first run yesterday. As
So just back to David Ford once again, guys. David Ford scored an 87. We were too busy having a laugh there. David Ford scored an 87 on his second run, putting him way up there into 10th position. And Ollie Cassidy has jumped way up the order with an 86.7 for Ollie Cassidy, putting him way up the order into 12th position as well.
Major improvement on yesterday's driving. So obviously using that time last night to go back over his runs, get the car set up for today, obviously for his second qualifying run. As we move on to Niall McInerney in his E36 BMW, this thing is gripped to the moon. You can see it. Look at that three-wheeling up the hill. Wow, that's a sight to be seen as he powers up using all the JZ power. As he currently on an 82.7, which is certainly putting him in 22nd for the time being. But let's see, can he better on that first run as he flicks one last time down the hill through clip 6, through 7. On the white line all the way across the finish line. A bit of a wobble there, but
whoa, what a run.
In the first hairpin there, did you see him just feathering the throttle trying to find the grip? He knew he was going off, but he just managed to find the grip and push the car forward.
I don't know if either of you lads saw it, but did you see the car was actually on 3 wheels after initiation there? So I'd love to see what the media teams get at that. But the score definitely shouts out for a mega run. It's an 88.3 for Niall McInerney. What a huge score, and deserves every bit of it.
What a run there from Niall.
6th position for Niall McInerney. He'll be delighted as we move it along to Yidrius Balkus, I believe, is on the line. Or is it Mattis Karaitis? I'm getting different. We'll just confirm. It's Mattis Karaitis is on the line. My apologies. It is Mattis Karaitis. Should have known the car at this stage, the BMW of Mattis. As he flicks it in, he's on a 73.7 after his first run last night. So this is Mattis' first run today, essentially. Nice touch of the handbrake there. Nothing too risky. Not throwing it onto angle and hoping that it'll stick. Just using the handbrake to nicely guide the car into the hairpin there. Once again, nice measured lap here from Mattis. You know what? He's getting better every round.
Absolutely, Mike. Better and better every round. We can hear the crowd applauding him here. Mattis Karaitis, one of the strongest drivers I've seen throughout practice yesterday. Didn't put the best score on the board in his first run with a 73.3. But look at his second score. It's a 93.3 for Mattis Karaitis. What a huge score, Mike.
Mattis Karaitis tops qualifying with a 93.3. What is happening here? This is absolutely crazy. Gar Collins is coming up the hill. We've no time to reflect on this. 2JZ Power E46 chassis. Look at the style from Gar Collins. Absolutely fires the BMW into the hairpin. Gets it almost backwards now. Hits the throttle. Mattis Karaitis is delighted as he passes us here. Gar Collins also delighted. Drops the BMW down the hill. Beautiful lap from Gar Collins. Guys, Pro 2, you gotta love it.
What is going on here, Mike? Run after run, these are getting wilder and wilder. And look at that, another huge score. Gar Collins, a 92.3 for Gar Collins. What is happening here? We're hitting the mids of the 90s. This is absolutely crazy, Mike. Drivers are not holding back for this final.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is absolutely crazy here. This is Pro 2, guys, Pro 2. And for all the world, this is a Pro Championship. The level of driving is absolutely crazy. As we look down on track to Ian Patterson in a car I know quite well. It is livered in the livery where I work in Group D, and it is a Turbo 1UZ powered E30 BMW, hoping that Ian doesn't have an issue here. He did put in a qualifier last night, and he is actually, look at this, guys, for nerves. Ian Patterson is currently sitting in 32nd position with a 75.3. Not sure if he can hear us or not.
Yeah,
but he is currently on a 75.3, and he looks to have mechanical issues here.
Oh, it looks like a tie rod or something.
Yeah, it just got word in there from our track marshal, Sean Towney. It is a broken tie rod, which is extremely unfortunate for Ian Patterson.
Heartbreak.
He looked absolutely outstanding on track yesterday. This is very unfortunate, Alan.
Yeah, well, certainly so, but this car is quite unique anyway in the first place. It's not really a BMW E30, is it?
No,
it's more as a body shell of an MX-5 and like an S chassis. It's all sorts of hobjobs of things.
And a Toyota.
And a Toyota.
With a turbo.
And another BMW. And an American kind of thing in the back of it as well. I know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those Group D specials, and this thing is actually kind of falls under a unique part of the rule book where it can run a semi-slick 15-inch tyre here in the Pro 2 class.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is usually an 18-inch 265 maximum weight straight tyre. So we can run semi-slicks as long as it's on a 15-inch wheel, which means, obviously these guys, they're on a smaller contact patch, so they can utilise the softer compound from that tyre. But also this car utilises another part of the rule book as well, where you can have a bit more of a freedom of how you build a car. So it's not your typical kind of I suppose cut chassis from the strut tops forward. This thing is basically almost a tube chassis from the firewall forward. So quite an interesting concept, and certainly I think it takes a bit more extra time to kind of dial in. And these are one of the kind of gremlins that you go through, is these unique parts and stuff like that you build when you build a car like this. But Ian's obviously a character here in the pits. This thing is an absolute weapon, and I'm sure unfortunately he's currently on the drop zone, but we'll see can he get it fixed for later on, especially if he makes it through. But as of right now, it looks like he's going to miss the second run.
Yeah, absolutely. Will be missing his second run, I would say, that's for sure. And it's going to be a nervous wait for Ian Patterson in 32nd position, but it does give us a rare chance here in qualifying to catch up a little bit on what's been happening, Adam. It's been absolutely crazy so far, and it's been a little bit more difficult to keep on top of this qualifying session, because it did have the slight added confusion of several runs happening yesterday evening if the drivers elected to do so. In order to speed things up a little bit today, give us a bit of time to do a track walk, enable the drivers to still have plenty practice time, give us time to do the track walk, bring a little bit of a show aspect, bring the crowd down on track, and been a bit confusing for us up here, but you know what, it's been super exciting. It's been dramatic as always, and the best is yet to come. We are, of course, going to have top 32 battles this afternoon right here, and we will be crowning a junior, a rookie, and a Pro 2 champion outright this very evening here in Watergrasshill, and I personally cannot wait. So guys, in qualifying, so far, Matas Karaitis is on a 93.3 with a huge run. Beautiful measured run. Nice, cool, calm, collected, pretty much inch perfect. Nothing too dangerous, nothing too crazy, but just inch perfect. Top in qualifying with it. Peter Malloy in the championship hunt is in second position with a 92.7, so he's going to pick up, you have to say, at least 9 championship points if he gets knocked down to third here, roughly, you'd have to say. So 8-9 championship points for Peter Malloy. Peter Rouse with a great lap is on a 92.3. Gareth Collins looking on fire is on a 92.3. Dylan Wilson, still an outsider in the championship run, is on a 91.3 in fifth, also picking up championship points. Crucially, some of the top guys are not picking up a lot of championship points after their first run at least. Alex Butler is down in 11th position. Jake Davies down in 9th, so they are picking up a couple of points, but nothing major. Denny Devine is not in the top, in the qualifying points yet. He's down in 20th, but still will have to run. So it's going to be very dramatic. It's going to be very, very entertaining. And yeah, it's all going to unfold in front of us here in the next couple of hours.
Absolutely, Mike. You talked there about the points they'll be getting for qualifying and so on, but that does not mean the day's actually over. Just because their qualifying run may have not worked out as best for them. If you haven't seen battle action before within drifting, the way it works is, so we have our top 32. The first will be going against 32nd, second against 31st, third against 30th, and so on, so on. So you meet the person at the opposite side of the grid regards to the top 32, and there is where we can see these drivers really show their talent and push through and fight for them final points and make their way up to championship, and that's where we've seen it happen before, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Couldn't agree more. And I do believe we are going to a drone shot here, just to show you guys, if you're watching at home, the layout here in Watergrasshill. So the judges want to see full throttle from the get-go, over to the left-hand side of the track and qualifying with a slick, back to the right, then full angle up the hill here. That is how you say just your left-hand side wheel there on the edge of the box, right out to the wall, through the pinball alley, back to the left, fill up that zone, and then lovely style onto the last zone on the straight there onto the right hand side, outside line all the way around the first hairpin, fill up that box, nice quick hard transition through the throttle on to the last hairpin. Drop down the hill, which is hard to see there in the drone, but there's a huge elevation change, and across the line through the last zone. So 8 clipping points here on Watergrasshill. Very technical track, huge elevation changes. Once again, might not be the easiest thing to see in the world in the live stream, but if you're lucky enough to be here with us, guys, you can obviously see that the climb up the hill at the start is huge, and then the quick drop down, which will definitely give us drama in the battles. It always does. You know, the quick drop down before the line is also very tough to negotiate, especially in battle action, especially chasing if you can't see exactly what's going on in front of you with tire smoke. And just to address a couple of YouTube comments there. Looney Lou the Staffy, I think a dog is commentating because it's a Staffy. No Akiba used to. He didn't compete in the last round, but he is in the Pro Championship as well. This is Pro 2. We are in the Pro 2 final, so we are having the Pro final in just a couple of weeks in 360 Motorsports Park in Kerry. But this weekend it's Pro 2. So Akiba is not competing in the Pro 2 Championship. He is a pro driver, so this is a. I don't blame them though, because looking at some of the driving here, these guys are pros all day long.
Absolutely, Mike. I often be scrolling through the YouTubes at all hours of the morning after coming home through a gig, and something that's come up a lot recently for me has been Formula Drift Japan, and compared to the driving we see here in the Pro 2 category, it's absolutely wild. The talent here in Ireland is insane. From young lads, from the likes of Alex Butler, Jamie Hines, Jake Davey, it's insane. These are junior drivers. These are lads that should be in school, caring about that stuff, and so on.
Absolutely.
But they're out here on track, causing mayhem, putting huge scores on the board and showing the talent that is in Ireland.
Absolutely, Adam. And guys, once again, if you are here in attendance in the flesh, don't forget that 2 spectators can win a VIP experience just by signing up at the IDS tent. Free of charge. Just head over to the tent maybe just after qualifying, sign up. We'll be doing the draw at about 2:30 on track. What you win is you win a merch pack. You can get yourself up here upstairs to the VIP viewing area for battle action. You can meet the judges, or you can avoid them if you want. I'd avoid them. And then you can get a passenger spin in the drift taxi with the one and only the showman Tom Murphy, one of our judges, of course, along with Tomas Falvey and Kieran Hines here. So a fantastic prize, 12 years of age and over for the spin in the taxi. So just get yourself to the IDS tent to sign up, and of course you can get your merch and your limited edition hoodies and jerseys over there as well. Now we move it back to the line to the Power in the Tower, our IDS Pro commentator Eddie Power. He's just left the line, and does he have transmission issues? Not sure exactly what's happened here. No, the wheel is out for Eddie Power.
Do not, Mike, this really shows who Eddie Power is, though. He knew he had car issues. He may have worked as hard as he could in the pits to try to get started, but he did not just go, nah, I'm not showing up. He went out in line and he gave it everything he could. Well, tried to at least, but unfortunately car issues have put a halt to Eddie's weekend.
Yeah, just shows how tough a sport this can be. Eddie Power is currently residing in Donegal, and his car is based in Gary Dunn's in Kildare. And obviously to get down here into the other side of the country, down at the south of Cork and Watergrasshill, it's a huge spin down from Donegal via Kildare. And, of course, loads of our competitors are making that spin as well. But Eddie, unfortunately, not getting to reap the rewards of that long spin. And looks like he is not going to be able to complete his second qualifying run here. And, it's a tough sport at times, Adam. It can be the best thing in the world, and it can be the toughest in the world as well.
Absolutely, Mike. You've plenty of experience in this, in many years of competing between judging and commentating as well, so I'm sure you've seen it all. But saying that, though, with all the years of experience you have and seeing drivers come up from the very Pro 2 rookies, Pro 2 juniors, all the way to being Pro class, to driving in Drift Masters, what is your opinion of what's going on here this weekend, like compared to what you may have seen 10 years ago? How has the driving style changed?
I don't know, has the style changed much? I was actually thinking about this yesterday, just randomly. I was just in my own thoughts, and I was thinking, I was trying to compare, I was kind of at the height of pro, we'll say 7-8 years ago, 10 years ago. I think, okay, we had a real depth of talent on the grid that time. Nearly everybody was an assassin. There were no easier battles. I think we had a hugely stacked grid, and obviously we had James Dean on the grid a lot of the time. The Shanahans were coming through, Darren McNamara was in and out, Nigel Colfer as well. You had all the second tier guys then. you had the and Tomas Kiley was coming through as well in that group as well, by the way, and Dwayne McKeever was in the middle of it. All the top guys were there. Then you had a lot of the guys who were knocking on the door: Shane O'Sullivan, Paul McCarthy, Nigel Colfer, then myself and a few more. There was a gang of the likes of myself. Then there was a huge gang of us that could, on our day. So I think we had a depth of talent. But crucially, I don't actually think that the battles were as hard. I don't think that the proximity was as hard, and I don't think that the grip levels were what they are today with the Pro tyre. So I think overall, okay, we had a huge depth of talent, but I think overall that the proximity has gotten much tighter in the battles, and that the tyre has made the driving much more difficult. So it's hard to compare the two eras, but I think, you know what, the future is bright either way, because the young drivers coming up are absolutely crazy.
Absolutely crazy, Mike. We see a lot of first-time competitors this year. Like, say, for even the likes of Jamie Hines, sitting in seventh position at the moment for qualifying. He is his first year ever competing. He's only learned how to drift about a year and a half ago, sitting on 88.7, which is absolutely wild. But enough of the chit-chat, Mike. We're back to the line. We have a driver on the line. It's the one and only Cian Leahy, currently sitting on 81.3 in the king of the road, E46. Look at him push it. The speed coming up the hill, dragging a handbrake to get it there. A bit wide, missing zone 2, maybe just about getting in there. I'm not too sure. Small bit of a straighten for zone 3.
Whoa.
Huge flick. Look at that, Mike. Nearly backwards. A bit too much though, coming off track, rubbing the back of the car. Off the tyres there, but he makes it work. He's back on line. Dropping tyres here again. Very unfortunate for Cian Leahy. He is sitting on 81.3, so we should be seeing him in battle action later on.
Cian of the road, yeah. Cian Leahy in 27th so far after his qualifying run last night, so he will be safe. Ian Patterson still sits in 32nd position. Kieran McNamara is in 33rd position. Heartbreak for the Kerry man there. So Ian Patterson is in 32nd position, followed by Kat Derrin in 31st position after doing her second qualifying run, and Dean Dillon is sitting in 30th. And Niall Looney is in 29th, so it's going to be tight. Kieran Lynch is in 28th position. The local man from Carricknavar, self-sponsored Lynch scaffolding car, and you know what, he has to improve here, Adam, as well. He might not be safe for battle action, and even if he is, he's going to have a very difficult draw in 28th position. Let's see if he can improve here in the beautiful yellow 180SX.
Look at Kieran Lynch come around the track here on the outside line. Bit of a correction as he came across the final line, but a solid one altogether. Coming off track, doing a small bit of landscaping there, so he was, Mike. But Kieran Lynch, one of the bigger characters of the Pro 2 Championship. It is an improvement, not by much, but just by a point. It's 81.7 for Kieran Lynch. Still sitting in... No, sorry, gone up a spot now. He's now in 27th position. Still close to the bottom line of qualifying, but I'd say he might be just about safe, Mike. And we'll be seeing him battle action later on.
I'm just seeing here that David Ford commented on his own commentary on the grid that he's not the oldest driver on the grid. We'll have to see. It's another Galway man here coming up the hill anyway. Francie Hines is on a 73. He is currently in 34th position, so he's not qualifying as he hits the limiter in the SR20 Sill80 and goes off track just a little bit too far to the right hand side there. Francie Hines not having enough track, maybe not having enough gearing there, Adam, was out of wheel speed, hitting the limiter, car hooked up, didn't have enough track. And once again, if you don't get the entry into this long straight section here absolutely perfect, you're in big trouble unless you have huge horsepower and huge wheel speed to get you out of trouble.
Absolutely, as you always say, Kieran Hines' track is always set up that you need to start off right to finish right. But we're going to move on to our next driver. It's a 52 for Francis Hines, but we're going to move on to our next man. It's Alan Connaty in the beautiful 11-0 S15. Look at this car, Mike. It's absolutely stunning, and so is this line woman. Drag up the handbrake around the first hairpin here on track. Huge on the flick, takes the tyres out of it. He's like, no, get out of my way. Still pushing that car out of the outer line, that track. Few mistakes there in that, Mike. He's sitting on a 73.3. Will it be an improvement?
I'm not sure if the live stream caught that, but there was mayhem on track because the tyre that Alan actually knocked as the lads were doing donuts there down on track, it almost went down and hit the other car as he crossed the line. And Alan Connor, he does improve just about, and it's not enough for battle action. He's in 34th position with a 74.3. The cutoff with Ian Patterson is currently 75.3. So Nathan... it's not Nathan Corcoran on the line because that is an estate BMW. It's Callum Coogan on the line indeed. So Nathan Corcoran not getting his not getting his second qualifier there, I think. So we'll have to double check that one. But it is Callum Coogan who did run last night. He's on a 67.3 so far. The Pro 2 driver not qualifying for battle action, so he will be going home empty-handed if he doesn't improve here. And you know what? He's quite up there in the championship. You'd be expecting quite the lap here from Callum.
Absolutely, Mike. We saw him yesterday.
Not in his car, though, I believe.
Yeah, we see the E30 Estate flicking in for an entry here. Bit of a drag on the handbrake, but makes it work. Is he going to make it into zone 2? He does, Mike. Get in the back of that car, up by the wall, flicks it down the back straight here. Very smooth flick down the back straight, so I must say. A few dabs on the handbrake there coming down the first hairpin, and he's making it work. Quite a smooth run. That's probably what judges want to see. Right out to the edge of the circuit here on the last bit of the track.
You know what? Is that Halfort's old car? I would say that's Halfort's old car. These lads in Urban Motorsport, they never drive their own cars really. Just drive one of the boys' cars. Right,
like trading cards, you just pass them around the place.
Well, guys, Callum Coogan does improve. It's an 88.7 for Callum Coogan. He will be delighted with that. It's 7th position for him. Clark Hatton currently sits on an 84. He's safe for battle action. He'll want to improve here big time as well to get himself up the order. He's currently in 22nd position as he pins the BMW here up the hill in Watergrasshill. Nice angle across zone 5 there. Collects 6. Just about now, bang on, yeah, collects 6 through 7, nice line through 7, nice outside line on the track as he drops it down, touching the left foot brake and across the line through 8.
You would expect absolutely nothing else from the young gun Clark Hatton, sitting on 84.3 now, and he improves. It's an 85.7 for Clark Hatton on his second run. That's putting him into...
I think he actually messaged me and told me, but I've forgotten again, but I think he's like 15 still.
He's 15 years of age.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Every round he's gone about a foot taller. I didn't realise that either. The fella's twice the height of you now, Mike.
He is indeed, yes, that's easy for him. So we move it along to Andrew Kinna.
I'm not too sure we'll get back to that score now in a minute, but it's Andrew Kenna on the line in a beautiful JZ powered Altezza IS200. I'm not too sure, a very fan favourite chassis here in Ireland, sitting on 87 at the moment. Andrew Kenna pushing right out to the edge of the track as it comes here. Look at this line, Mike, right onto the edge. Comes in small bit shallow for the last zone, but look at the crowd. The crowd are applying it. It was a stylish run.
Yeah. 85.7 sorry for Clark Hatton in the last one, and Andrew Kinna looks like a man who's here to play, guys. This car in action in Driftmasters last weekend, as you saw, but you know what? It's a 90.3 for Andrew Kinna, putting him into the 96th position in the Altezza for the man behind DRT Automotive, a man around the scene a long time. Great to see him getting on well. Matt Darren, it's not Cat, it's Matt. Matt Darren is on the line in his V8 BMW. He's on an 84.3. Let's see if he can improve. He's currently in 23rd position as he enters the arena here up the hill in Watergrasshill.
Matt Darren, the best beard in drifting, and look at the style from this man.
Right on the wall.
V8 powered eater. Look at that, Mike. Look at the backwards entry.
Does he make
Matt
it sick?
Darren. He does. He sure does. Loads of smoke off the back of that car. He must have it gripped up to the nines. What a stylish shot from Matt Darren. The crowd absolutely loved that, and so did I.
Yeah, Matt Darren fan club right under us here, and maybe not the perfect line, but it was the perfect style. And you know what? I think the judges thought the same, because they just gave Matt Darren 93 points, putting him into second position.
Huge round of applause for Matt Darren, the best beard in drifting and one of the best runs we've seen all weekend.
Absolutely. So we have to keep going here. It is coming thick and fast at this stage. It is Colin O'Sullivan doing his first lap of Sunday. He's on an 86.7, the young Kerry man. A young gun up and coming, as we are joined back in the tower once again by current Irish Drift champion Alan Hines. Colin O'Sullivan now just getting the car nicely through the last outside zone there on the straight, and hits the throttle with the RB powered S14. A little bit shy there across 7, and kicks the clutch across 8 and across the line.
A lovely run, a 360 across the line as well, Mike. An 86.7 his first run. I'm sure it'll be a strong score in his second run as well. Last time we were in Watergrasshill as well for round 3, if I'm correct. So I was saying Colin O'Sullivan actually won the round, so he's definitely comfortable here on this track. He knows how it works.
But it's up the hill today, Adam. It's a different layout.
Very, very true.
It might as well be in a different world, to be honest.
Sitting on 86.7 his first qualifying run. There's no improvement. It's an 81.7 for Colin O'Sullivan, the young man from Kerry, but still still a very strong score, and we'll see him battle action later.
Block your ears, guys. Conor Duggan is coming up the hill in his V8 E46 BMW, the CDM Sportman, one of the series sponsors here as well, of course. Absolutely pinning the throttle, no lift whatsoever. Beautiful angled in by Conor Duggan. Another driver getting better round after round after round. Look at this perfect outside line. Gets the BMW rotated back to the left now. Maybe could be a couple of feet further out, but overall a great lap by Conor Duggan.
Great lap completely. He was on a very strong line there. We're joined again by Alan Hines. Alan, what did you make of his line there throughout that run?
Yeah, no, it was a mega run, 86.7 there for Conor Duggan. He had a lovely initiation here in the hairpin here in front of us. So, yeah, we're moving on here to Justin Murphy and his E36 BMW JZ. Unfortunately, had a big accident in round one, rolled the car, still managed to make it for qualifying, but here he is again for run number 2. And he clicks clip 2 here pretty well, pushes out towards 3 positions here in front of us, down into the bottom hairpin here, through clip 6 into outside line here all the way to 7. And transitions one final time for his second and final run. Oh, half loops it, misses the final 2 clipping points. Not the greatest finish there from Justin Murphy, but the first half of that run pretty solid. 81 on the board for Justin Murphy.
Well,
and
we have lost Ian Patterson from battle action. He's in 33rd. Kat Derren is in 32nd position. I presume she's just gone over to Matt, but she's in 32nd. Now Marcus Heinen is running here, and it looks like he hasn't put in a run so far. Marcus Heinen is on his first qualifying run here. The local man right on the wall. Look at that. In the Village Tires PS13 Sylvia anti-lag, absolutely banging around the track here in Watergrasshill. The local man from Ballincollig in Cork. Maybe not the most perfect lap ever here. Not a very Marcus Heinen lap.
So I've just
Sounds
been
like the throttle is stuck open, is it?
Yeah,
Stuck
that's
open,
exactly
yeah,
what's
it's
happening
unusual,
there.
yeah.
I've just been told it's throttle cable issues, so obviously that's why he was trying to fight throughout that whole battle
Does
there.
he qualify here? So the throttle cable stuck open here for Marcus Heinen. Went out qualifying either way. No practice, I presume. And Marcus Heinen with a stuck open throttle. Guys, listen to this. He scores an 85, putting him into battle action with a throttle which was stuck wide open. What a lap.
Wow, what a lap altogether. Alan, it's like being on the sim and the pedal getting stuck down, and you're basically just fighting, just playing with the clutch the whole time. You're driving in reverse.
I don't know what sim pedals you're using that they're braking like that, Adam, but I mean, it's never a nice thing to be going around the track and and all you have to do is just let go of the clutch and the car is driving for you. You know, it's not the nicest of feelings, but he managed to pull it off. Fair play to him.
Marcus Heinen's gain has been Katja Derren's loss. We lose Katja Derren just about into 33rd position, unfortunately, and now Dean Dillon sits in 32nd position, followed by Niall Looney and Cian Leahy in 30th, Kieran Lynchton in 29th, and Luke Buttimer in 28th position. So those are the drivers in the drop zone. At the other end of the scale, Gar Collins is in 5th, Peter Rouse is in 4th position, Peter Malloy in the championship hunt is in 3rd, Matt Darren with a fantastically stylish lap is in 2nd, and in 1st position with an inch perfect lap it's still Matas Karaitis with a score of 93.3. So it's all going off here, guys, and we're not even into battle action yet.
Certainly not, and I'd say Marcus Heinen is obviously going to make it through. He's going to have to probably fix that issue, of course. Probably needs one of those Toyota Corolla 1.4 VVTi throttle cables, but I don't know if there's many.
That's the one to go for.
Very specific.
Don't be giving away trade secrets there, Alan.
No, well,
we have a second here, guys. Tommy Smith, one of our long-term series sponsors of TS Drift Days, has asked us to announce as well here in about a month's time or less. It is the Tenoshi Dori event here in Watergrasshill, and I'm just going to read this out, so apologies if it sounds like I'm reading something, because I'm reading something. So Tenoshi Dori finally brings that chill street-style drift event that we all know and love to Watergrasshill on September the 21st, with inspiration from the States with Final Bout, the UK's Dory Fest, and Japan's Dori Dori. Tenoshi Dori will match that style-based energy with what is essentially a rolling car show, encouraging exciting team drifting, wild solo driving, and exceptional car presentation both on and off track. Each will be carrying awards too, of course. So a hand-selected 50 drivers are split into 2 driver groups, and there's a dedicated time slot for teams to prove who is best. So be sure to check out that event, guys. And Jake McElveen is coming up the hill now with a score of 87.7 on his first run, so nothing at stake here except a higher qualifying position for Jake McElveen. And can he make it work?
Yeah, Jake doing obviously a great first run here, but really connecting the dots here again for his second run. And you know what? I'm actually thinking here. A lot of these drivers are watching back the live stream after using live stream as a way to kind of figure out like what they need to do, because some of these runs are actually absolute stormers, doing way better than what they were doing in practice. So Jake, one of those that was on point from earlier this morning, but of course 93.3 for Jake McElveen. That puts him in second place behind Matty. Actually tying
a joint first, actually.
That will pull him.
Yeah, so
first place.
Jake McElveen has the higher of their second score. So Jake McElveen tops qualifying, guys, with a 93.3, topping qualifying with the higher of his second scores.
Fair play. That was a mega run. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Great run by Jake McElveen, topping qualifying as a round of applause went up there for Marcus Heinen, nursing his car.
Move on to Bartek here.
Bartek Blazicki. So guys, Bartek is leading the Pro 2 Rookie Championship. If he puts in a good run here, I think he's going to be our Pro 2 Rookie Champion. But you know what? He wants more. He looks like one of the drivers who's coming in. He's consistent. He knows what he's doing in the BMW. Can he put in a big score here and get himself into the show?
Well, certainly so. And of course, Bartek leading the Rookie Championship, as mentioned earlier, but he's outside of the Pro 2 top 32. So he needs to get a solid run here to be able to make it in. But barely getting those clipping points, missing them. I don't know, Mike. This is not kind of what we've seen Bartek doing previously throughout the season. But finishing off the run here fairly strong. But start of the run, especially in the first couple clipping points here in front of us, not really what we were expecting here of Bartek.
Well, I like the way that he used momentum there to try to get himself up the hill, but Bartek Blazicki not quite enough to get into the top 32, unusually for Bartek, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him in the future. It's a 75.3 for Bartek, doesn't qualify, so Dean Dillon survives another day in 32nd position. Erikas Navitskaz is on a 90.3 since his first run. Can he improve on that? Can he top qualifying? Let's see.
Erikas Navitskaz, one of the most beautiful looking cars on the grid, so stylish, looks like something straight out of a car show. And look at this for a run from Erikas Navitskaz at the moment, pushing him right out to the edge of the circle, putting down a lovely line, sitting on a strong score of 90.3 at the moment. I say it'll be another very, very strong score for the one and only Erikas Navitskaz.
Yeah, a round of applause there from the crowd, appreciating that lap by Erikas in the beautiful BMW as we start to get into... It's a 90.3 again for Erikas Navitskaz, so complete consistency. Yeah, as we start to get really into the pointy end of the championship now, guys, in a couple of cars' time. In the meantime, it is young Jamie Hines, the Pro 2 junior driver, in the hunt for that championship as well, of course. Still, should he do well here, I think that he can still possibly be in a championship podium. Yes, he can. So Jamie Hines going for a Pro 2 junior championship podium here. And a big finish in the Pro 2 class outright. The young Galway man in the S14 doing everything right here. Left foot brakes it gently down the hill. Beautiful style from young Jamie.
Absolutely. Alan, last year when Jamie was just starting out drifting, you did some learning practice days with him down in 360.
Learning practice days?
Yeah, he was learning on them practice days down 360 Motorsport. Look at how much he's come up since then.
Yeah, certainly so. He throws an 86 onto the board. Not as good as his first run. I think there's a couple of things there for Jamie to clean up. He's making a few mistakes there, especially on the transitions and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll see him continue on that momentum later on. But Dean Davey up next. This is the guy that I thought, up until he looped it on hairpin number 2, was going to top qualifying, but here he is. He's doing the exact same run once again, pins it to the wall, millimeters from it. He transitions here down through 5, should I say, midline again, passes by where he looped it last time, but transitions one final time down the hill, maximizing the outside line here and gets it across the line. Nice run there from Dean. Nothing getting through, I'm sure, hopefully.
What a run from Dean Davey, one of the Davey brothers, doing how the Davies do. One thing I will say about Dean Davey, he's been absolutely on form throughout all of practice. I was watching him yesterday, and you can see it. It's a huge score for Dean Davey, an 89.7. What a run from the Pro 2 driver.
Yes, a great run from Dean. Niall Looney, if you're listening, you're in the drop zone in 32nd position. So not sure if anybody can still knock you out at this stage. It's Niall Looney, then Cian Leahy in 31st. So not sure if anybody is yet to run that is on a score less than that, but we'll have to see. I think there might be Declan Byrne actually has to run, and he's currently on a 66. So Niall Looney, it is going to be a long wait for you till the end of qualifying, or at least till Declan Byrne. Now we're almost into the top 7, guys. In 8th position currently, it's Luke Talley in the Exemplar Concierge Service GTR 86. Luke Talley, a man improving hugely, going very, very well in Scotland there as well recently. Absolute gentleman out of the car and a hard driver inside the car. Beautiful car, as you can see as well on track here, guys. And he is currently on an 85.3. Does he improve here, Adam?
I'm not too sure, Mike. Hopefully he does. Luke Talley, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the pits. The man behind Exemplar Airport Cars. Yeah, I definitely pronounced that word wrong, but he's sitting on 85.3. It's no improvement, unfortunately. It's an 82.7. He's still sitting in 23rd position, so he should be safe for battle action later on. One of the most powerful cars on the grid, probably one of the most stylish as well. So I'll be looking forward to seeing him back out there again.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we are getting into the pointy end of qualifying. It is the top 7. Any of these guys can quite easily win this championship, starting with the one and only Dylan Wilson in the E92 BMW. He is currently on a 91.3, way up there in qualifying in 7th position as he comes up the hill. Absolutely lights it 2Gs. He almost hits the wall in the process. Rev limiters, big angle, beautiful style. Let's see it. There's lots of tire smoke appearing. Yeah, he's on full throttle, touches the left foot brake to settle the car. Now gets it beautifully rotated back around for the last hairpin, drops it down the hill and crosses the line. Guys, Dylan Wilson is still in this championship hunt. Knocks the cones out of the way, says, get out of my way, guys.
What a run.
I'm coming for this championship. He is 37 points behind the leader, and you know what, with a run like that, we're not going to count him out just yet.
Absolutely, very consistent. A 91.3 in his first run. It's a 92.7 for Dylan Wilson on his second run, currently putting him into...
Yeah, he's in 4th position now. Declan Byrne is in the championship hunt in the S14, but he is currently not qualifying. Declan Byrne is currently not qualifying. He has to pull it out of the bag here. He's got one run to get it done and stay alive in this championship. Look at the style, look at that Declan Byrne, typical big angle. Now hits the throttle, almost goes off, drops a wheel. Does Declan Byrne qualify? Does he get knocked out? He has to be inch perfect from here on in. Oh, he's not inch perfect. Are the nerves getting to Declan Byrne, or what's happening?
I'm not too sure. A very, very strong driver. We see him all throughout the season. A huge character. He had a 66.3 in his first run. He does make it into battle action. It's an 86 for Declan Byrne. Not the strongest score, but we will see him in battle action, putting him into 22nd position.
Yeah, we lose Niall Looney. Cian Leahy sits in 32nd position, but Declan Byrne, his championship hope, still just about alive. Now we move it along to a man who is definitely one of the guys for the future. It is from very close to Naas, quite close to Mondello Park actually. It is Danny Devine, who had transmission issues throughout the season basically, and I think he would probably be a bit higher in the championship had he a little bit more reliability. The Devines putting in a 2JZ, of course, replacing the SR20. It blew up at the last straw of the first round in Mondello Park. They got it turned around back out for round 2, and you know what, it's been a testing season. They've had mechanicals, they've had the engine change, obviously gearbox change with it. BMW gearbox, 530D 6-speed in this car. Can Danny Devine improve here, because he needs the championship points?
Absolutely, we're used to seeing Danny put on a Divine run. Is he going to do the same thing here? 84.7 at the moment, and it's looking very Divine as of now. Look at his flick backwards, basically around the hairpin. Very, very stylish. I know our judges would love to see that on the outer line of the circuit. Slightly, nearly drops a tyre there, but he makes it work. What a beautiful run from the young man, Daniel Devine.
Unreal, what style.
Yeah, but still not on the correct line in places, and I don't know if this score is going to be what we think it's going to be. But still an 86.7, better as his first run, but certainly not the place where I'm sure Daniel would want to be. He'd want to be in the top 4, certainly to keep that championship hopes alive.
He's actually tied. There's 3 other drivers on an 86.7, so we'll have to split them later on. We have to move it along, guys. We're straight into the top 4, leaving the line. It is the man from County Down. It is Andrew Malloy, the beautiful BMW. Coming up the hill here to us. He's always inch perfect. Does he remain to be inch perfect? He pretty much does. Maybe could have been a couple of inches further to the wall, but apart from that, it's a beautiful lap here from Andrew Malloy. He has to qualify a little bit higher here, Adam, if he wants to pick up the points.
Absolutely, A7.3 at the moment, a very strong score, but look at this run from Andrew Malloy. I don't know if I've ever said this before, Mike, but I love the look of this car. One of the most beautiful looking cars on the grid, in my opinion. Very stylish car and a very stylish run. Very strong score. It's a 90 for Andrew Malloy. Definitely an improvement on his last run.
Absolutely. 10th position for Andrew Malloy. He picks up a couple of championship points if he stays there, which I would say he will. Now on the line it is Peter Malloy, his brother, right in front of him in the championship. We're into the top 3, guys. Peter Malloy kicks the clutch as he makes his way up the hill here, kicking the clutch up the hill. Listen to this BMW being put through the punishment. A little bit of a correction there just to make it into zone 3 by the wall. These Malloys, they don't have the most powerful cars on the grid. They said they're just here to have fun, but you know what? They're in the championship hunt. They're right up there with guys in cars which are way more horsepower. And look at that inch perfect guys from Peter Malloy.
Yeah, Peter, the absolute machine that he is here in qualifying, but I don't believe it's going to be as good as his first run. 78 for him on his second run. Yeah, he made a major mistake leaving clip 1, caught the line to clip 2, and that's a major deduction, upwards of nearly 20 points deduction there for getting that line wrong. So,
well,
we move on here to Jake Davey, though.
Yeah, we're into a very, very interesting part now, because Jake Davey, 2 junior drivers left now. Alex Butler and Jake Davey contesting for the win of the junior championship and contesting for the win of the Pro 2 championship outright. Jake Davey on an 88 in his first run leaves the line in the Carrick karting S14. Can he top qualifying? Can he do it? Can he take home the Pro 2 championship this weekend in Watergrasshill? He's doing everything in his power to do so. He fills up the clipping zones. Maybe could have been a bit tighter to the wall there, Adam. Well, you know what? He's not risking it. He's saying, I'm in the show. I'm going to put myself a little bit higher in qualifying, and I'm going to take down Alex Butler.
Absolutely, we've always said it. Jake Davies is a very technical driver, and you can see that here. He's putting down a solid line. We saw flames come out of the back of that car as he crossed the line. Jake Davies doing how the Davies do it, and he done it exactly brilliantly, because it's a 92 for the young Jake Davies, the junior driver, bringing him up higher on the board, Mike.
And crucially knocks Andrew Malloy down 1 position in qualifying as well, taking a championship point off him. So Jake Davies in 8th position. Now guys, it's our last qualifier. It is the young man leading the championship. He's a junior driver, but he looks like a driver with 40 years experience behind the wheel. Sorry, it's Alex Butler coming up the hill here in the turbo BMW, and let's see, can he do it? Can he top qualifying? Beautiful angle and a really, really outside line. Do the nerves get to him? Did he try a bit too hard? Has he had a mechanical failure?
And you know what, we're talking here about a junior driver who made a mistake there, and we're talking like as if, you know, this is a major thing, but these 2 kids, right, like obviously fighting for a championship here, that's a 0 for Alex Butler there, obviously, but you know, that was a serious run leading up to that, and I'm sure it was well up there in terms of qualifying score there, but unfortunately not getting a score there for his second run. But he still sees himself into top 32, probably in a place where he doesn't want to be, but certainly still in for the championship hunt later for today.
Yeah, super entertaining qualifying session in the books there, guys, and we are ready and stacked for a championship fight. And I do believe that all top 7 championship drivers who can take this championship, Luke Talley is actually possibly still in the mix as well, but after all these drivers have qualified, I would say it's too much of an ask for Luke. But all the drivers in the top 7 who can win this championship have qualified for battle action. So your top 32 are? Yeah, your top 32 qualifiers are, guys, and these might not be in perfect order because we have some tight scores to sort out, but these are your top 32 qualifiers. In 32nd position, creeping in there, it is Cian Leahy. 31st is Kieran Lynch, the local man. 30th position is Luke Buttimer. 29th is Jack Mulvihill. It's 28th for Nathan Corcoran. Marcus Heinen with his stuck open throttle in 27th. Justin Murphy, 26th. Luke Talley in 25th position. Clark Hatton, 24th. Declan Byrne, still in the championship hunt, is in 23rd position. Paulie D, Paul Dempsey in 22nd. Denny Devine is in 21st. Connor Duggan is in 20th. Then it's Colin O'Sullivan, Ollie Cassidy, David Ford, Alex Butler leading the championship, qualified around 16th position exactly. Niall McInerney's in 15th. It's Jamie Hines in 14th. Callum Coogan 13th. Dean Davey 12th. Andrew Malloy, Eric Snavis-Cause, Andrew Kinna, Jake Davey, Gar Collins, Peter Ross, and then top 5 it's Peter Malloy, Dylan Wilson, Matt Darren, Mattis Karaitis, and your winner of qualifying, picking up 11 championship points, it's Jake McElveen with a 93 topping qualifying. So guys, remember, we have a draw taking place. Get yourselves down to the IDS tent, pick up some merch while you're there if you want, and fantastic prize. It is going to be a great experience for somebody. Get out in the drift taxi, get up here, watch the action from the best seat in the house, and lots of prizes with that one, so be sure to get yourself down and signed up for that. And we will have, of course, the track walk happening just during the break here. Once all cars are out on track, we will be inviting all the spectators out on track as well to meet the drivers and check out the cars down here on Watergrasshill's hallowed tarmac. And yeah, great day of entertainment ahead for all. So once again, guys, get over to the IDS tent, get yourself signed up, get the VIP experience, get into the drift taxi. That is going to be an insane experience, because if you sit in the back of that thing, I can only imagine what it'll feel like going down over the hill here in Watergrasshill with the crazy man that is Tom Murphy. And yeah, we will be back for the track walk down on track pretty soon, announcing the winner of that. And we will be back for battle action at IDS Round 5 2025 Pro 2 final at around about 2:45, I believe. So 2:45-ish, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, you can tune back in around then, and we will be back for top 32 action, deciding the winner of the Pro 2 Championship here in IDS 2025. Thank you, guys.
This is how we